Hi, I'm Carrie and this is my story. June 10th, 1999. It was a beautiful summer day. In a couple days, I'd be starting my new life in Chicago. I had a signed contract with a modeling agency and they had my apartment waiting for me. What seemed to be the beginning of an exciting new chapter quickly changed late that evening when I received a call that my brother Chris was in a serious car accident. Our family took an emergency flight to Montana, where my brother was living. We learned pretty quickly how serious it was. His neck was broken, he severed his spinal cord, and now he was paralyzed. I was devastated, to say the least, and when we first saw each other at the hospital, I could see the fear in his eyes. His first question to me was, "Why aren't you in Chicago?" I told him with certainty that this is where I needed to be. Although I didn't know what the road ahead of us looked like, I knew enough in that very moment that he was going to need me, whether he wanted to admit that or not. In that moment, I became the one looking after my brother. Chris now had to heal from his accident and learn how to live life as a quadriplegic. This was the most difficult, heartbreaking journey of faith, and it was faith in the Lord that got us through. But even in God's strength, it was so difficult to try and visualize what this new way of living was going to look like for my very independent, active, and strong-willed brother. I remember crying after leaving the hospital one night on my drive home, asking God to reassure me that Chris was going to be okay. And would he still be able to live a good and happy life? As time went on, Chris became stronger in his faith. He also wanted to be as independent as possible. There were times I watched him work hard to do the simple things the rest of us take for granted. Getting his cash out of his wallet or twisting the top off a bottle of soda were a huge task, but he persisted in managing them. Chris continued to live his new life until all of it changed. I received a text from him on January 6, 2009, telling me he was admitted to the hospital and it was pneumonia. This is very serious when you are a quadriplegic. Instead of improving, it was becoming worse and he was moved to the ICU. At this point, we discovered there was a hole in his esophagus caused by the hardware in his neck, which was placed from his initial surgery. The pneumonia at that point was so severe, we were told he probably wouldn't make it. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. The next day, we were holding his hands and saying our goodbyes, which was the hardest thing I've ever done in my life. And my brother went home that evening, January 11th, 2009, to be with God. What I learned was that God blesses us through our difficult circumstances. Chris continues to inspire me, and although he did a great job of making me tough, it was God who gave me the strength I needed to walk through even the darkest days. It is God who keeps my faith in him strong. I'm Carrie and this is my story.